Good evening, Free Enterprise fans, and welcome to our Friday Night Community Race. We will be taking a trip down into the Inferno and then upwards into Paradise with Tall Grant, Beauty and Discovery, CS Radical, and Judge Joe. I am Mentor Dave, and joining me tonight is our Reamer Scala Kitty, our tracker Dubward, and my co-commentator Blue Wizard. How are you doing tonight, Blue?
To quote the druids from Warcraft 2, I'm awake. But we tonight will actually have ourselves the Divine Comedy, where this is a myriad of boss hunts and objective finding. Our runners will have to go through the 4 fiends, and then raising the big whale, defeating the boss at the Masamune altar, defeating the ever so lovely Calbrina dolls, and throwing a key down a well, and hopefully not blowing up the entire world.
Yeah, it's a very nice world. I would rather have it not be destroyed.
Yep. Anything in particular you're hoping to see tonight in this particular run?
How about we make our runners choose between a Kinatsuit giant with something else behind it, and I don't know. I'll call it a Masamune altar.
You know, you say Kinatsu at the giant of battle. How about how about Calbrina at that element spot? Nice.
That's just rude, because you can't even Meteor the backward owls down.
Yep, they are a little extra spicy at that spot. And with that, our runners are off with a DKC and a Yang start.
I mean, we know that there's a required boss in Baron Castle. We don't know which one.
Will it be leg? Will it be quarter leg? Stay tuned.
Goober, I would argue this team has plenty of power. It's even a command one of them has.
I don't know. I think this team is rather weak. Now, if you had Paladin Cecil on the other hand, then we're talking.
And we seal it. Everyone's ready. Radical going into Baron Inn, showing us a second monk there. Not very enticing. And everyone else choosing to get some of this delicious T Wildish loot. Yep.
T Wildish is always a fan favorite. Yeah, because case in point, going to Watery Pass is always a safe bet. I mean, typically you see runners going here if they want, if you have typically a caster heavy party, more of the melee heavy parties typically go to Dempsey. But we do see CS Radical going a little bit divergent from the common path until now.
I could see a Dempsey and maybe a Troya play, just for they have a good chance of rolling tiers 3 and 4 items, and this party can use some J items to get started.
Yep, and it will even though you have a DKC, I could definitely see, if you play your card, like if you get a little lucky, an Evelyn Castle play, and if nothing else, just going down that right tower.
Pair of Blizzards, that's interesting with Yang starting HP.
That is, with Yang having one of the higher health pools. Having that J item is definitely going to be very nice early on.
Joe showing us the Baron Guards in the waterfall, so no value in there.
Value? What value? Not here.
Grant finding something good. That's a cane. That represents offense in this party.
For now.
I'm fairly certain I saw an Ice Brand picked up somewhere, or in Watery Pass, so something resembling offense.
Yep, and on Judge Joe's side, we see him picking up money in that damn scene basement.
I know there's a whole community thing, Kane, Mr. Patently Average, all that stuff. I would be very happy to find that Kane right here.
Getting him early on, definitely gonna help, especially if you find Valvalis in the wrong spot. I mean, because I don't know how you feel, but I'm not a fan of back attack Valvalis.
Get a few levels on Cecil on a Black Sword. It'll be fine chipping away 50 damage a swing.
Look, I know everyone loves a good meme, everyone loves a good rude boss in the rude spot, but nobody wants to sit here for 45 minutes seeing Dark Knight Cecil use Dark Wave.
I can assure you it takes less than 45 minutes.
Are you sure? We're not counting that he has a Black Sword.
Oh, you're not even giving the good weapon?
No. We're just gonna Dark Wave for about 50-ish damage for the next 20 minutes. I mean, this is a Divine Comedy, so we have to get our terrible jokes in somewhere.
It does seem all four of these runners want that Kane. Yes, folks, you are seeing double. That is 4 Ogopogos. Well, 3 now.
You know, it's really bad when you see 4 Ogopogos on the screen. It's a much worse case than getting your headphones knotted up in your pocket.
And especially when they just get knotted up on nothing themselves. How does that even happen?
You know, you can see it, you can imagine it. My hands, it's like that one guy from the History Channel. It's just aliens. I.e., it's Palom.
You think Ogopogo is the form of one of those knotted up headphones?
I wouldn't put it past him. Matter of fact, I will put money on it. No. See, the word. That is just no. We don't wish that kind of juju on people.
Alex Scala, Aliens explains a lot of FF4's plot. You're not wrong.
No, not at all. Alright, and we see the Calbrina dolls up on Tallgrind's side already. That'll be part of an objective.
Oh, Tallgrind didn't find the blizzards. Okay.
So, Dave, you've been around the block for a minute. We see that there's 5 objective buttons on the screen for each of our runners, and yet there's 8 on the screen. For our listeners, our watchers, how exactly does that work? Especially our listeners and watchers that are, still rather new to this sort of flag set.
So what we're going to do is, as our runners complete each pair of objectives, they'll be lit up. So the first objective requires both purple robes. The third objective requires all the leg. Fifth objective just requires everything that's behind darkness. It's grouped like that.
Yep, and our runners will only need, well, really just all 8 out of 10. Because in this particular flag set, unlike 90+% of flag sets and seeds that are out there, this particular flag set is a win game. That means that when one of our runners does complete 8 out of all objectives, they will just win the game. There is no Zeromus fight. There is no pass go, collect 200 gil. That will just be it.
I got a question. What's this gil stuff you speak of?
That's the thing that fish have.
Ah! Possibly Swedish fish?
Yes, the best kind. But only the original ones. Any of that newer mini tropical stuff, nah, it's nothing compared to the original.
Oh.
OG Swedish fish, that's where it's at.
We did see some interesting things come up on the stream. Beauty and Discovery and Judge Doe taking out the Officer Soldier in the Antlion Cave and finding a Magma Key. No Fading Antlion today.
Nope. Fading Antlion today would be a rather unfortunate choice to make.
And Talgrand running into the big doll, couldn't get the little dolls down fast enough, but getting a spoon for his trouble.
Ooh. That is an item. And with no Edward, it is just that, an item.
It is, in fact, just an item. Unfortunately, the spoon flag is off today. But maybe we find an edge, maybe we lodge that spoon into a boss at a rude location.
Yeah, that, I mean, if we find an edge, that definitely would save a lot of time against really any of the bosses. Particularly elements, if you time it just right. I want to say right after Mylon, as soon as Rubicon pops up.
Yeah, you could short the fight by just, smacking the Ruby face for quad 9s and end it.
Yeah. Because this being spoon-fed, well, has a whole new meaning in this game. Alright, and we see Talgrand running into a Mom Bomb up on Nordeals.
Both went into Baron Inn taking on Plague in the Mylon.
Which is not actually that bad of a transition. Because Plague doesn't actually deal damage.
And Mylon is an objective, so we're happy to see that.
Mom Bomb, now that I'm thinking about it, Mom Bomb is actually one of those bosses that is just rude no matter where you are. Solely because of that 10,000 shield that she gets.
Yeah. Mom Bomb is ruder at earlier spots. At later spots, you could usually just burn through the extra 10k easily enough and skip this.
You hope that is if you survive the explosion.
That's why you just don't get exploded.
Well, now listen here. Some of us.
Oh no. We're about to see Judge Joe's sign list that Blizzard gets off real fast.
I think, honestly, out of all the times I've done comms, this was the first time that I got to see Gas just punch things.
Because that Gas, there were pieces of Kane everywhere afterwards.
Yeah, Kane wanted to go up in the air, and he just there was a piece. He asked them if they wanted a piece of him. They went sure, and they want a piece over there, a piece over there. And Judge Joe being awarded a Darkness Crystal for his efforts. That is another objective.
So let that be a lesson to anyone watching. Don't let Gas punch. They do that to you.
Oh yes, just make sure you berserk them beforehand.
Oh, you want the guaranteed quad 9s at some spots.
Oh yeah.
The back of that Gordeals is about as free as it gets.
Yeah, that's a kind of set, forget, take a nap, get yourself some caffeine or a drink of sorts.
We have traded falling into a deep ravine for being sent to the Hades.
Kind of makes you wonder, what is further down, in this category? Like, is it the Hades? Is it the deep ravine?
Given that part of this whole story is going into the Inferno, we're going to the Hades anyway. That's not really a threat.
No, but it is hot.
Yes, it is.
All right, and Judge Joe making his way underground. I mean, having both the darkness and the magma key. I mean, I personally, I probably would go ahead and do a save scum, pop my way up to the moon real quick, go supply that Masamune altar. Honestly, if that Masamune altar is relatively free, like a water hag, I mean, just go up there, get it knocked out, and I apparently am speaking real time into existence.
I've watched and raced with Judge Joe quite a bit. This is exactly what I would expect out of him.
Tall Grant getting his Pally's Hustle online, going and seeing a Mr. Tralala.
It's a very fitting trial.
Oh yes. Nothing like a little sibling rivalry to get you your paladin wings.
The good news, I think the magic here is set to no.
Huh. What magic power?
Exactly.
Although this is a actually the symbology or the symbolism in this particular fight with really what this flag set is just, it's iconic. The divine comedy, the light on one side, the dark on the other. It's beautiful.
We have a little ha 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 action.
Ha 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 ha.
Radical joining Beauty and Tall Grant honor deals. Judge Joe's decided, I want to suit the moon characters and the moon shop. Just illusions.
You say just illusions. I see a way out of melee only fights.
You raise a good point. And Tall Grant showing us Golbez's weakness to holy by shooting with some white arrows.
Oh, you know, he no, I was gonna say he shot his shot, but no, actually that did sound right. Okay, cool. That's one of those very few moments where you think of something and you're like, nah, that's not gonna sound right, and then you say it. It actually does sound right. Because English is a perfect language.
And on the moon altar is an old man. Maybe not the old man our runners were looking for.
This is not the early retirement for sages of Mycedia that you were looking for?
No, no, it's not. Are we a spy into K value? We are.
We are. Oh, there's some money. Nice little crystal armor. Although it is a bit, how do I say, a bit of a, I don't want to say cheeky, but well played on Judge Joe's side, just kind of picking up a few chests in there. And that looked like
That looked vanilla.
That was very vanilla.
Joe, I know you're thinking it. Just go to it. Yep.
Yep. He's going for it.
This is me being surprised.
Uh-huh. This is my surprise face. Alright, so while our runners are amidst about the same spot, let's go ahead and give a shout out to our runners, Tall Grant, Beauty and Discovery, CS Radical, Judge Joe 00, and our amazing people behind the scenes, Scala Kitty on the restream, Dubword pushing the buttons and not eating them, my amazing co-commentator, NG Dave, and myself, the Blue Wizard. I just happen to say things and kind of remember stuff about this game.
Hey, as long as we're having fun here, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We see Judge Joe set curse the Cecil, so everyone is as fast as possible. Plan here is just going to be let Bahamut cast Mega Nuke 4 times and end the fight.
Yep. Although, now I know that Yang has it's not 7 agility at start, but it's somewhere around there, and you know, I know that you don't want to put a Star Veil on him. Well, not usually, but as Chad is pointing out, it is 8 Star Veil or 8 Mega Nukes.
8 agility. He starts
Oh,
with
8 agility. Okay. I'm like, 8 Mega Nukes? Nah, he doesn't have that much health here. 8 agility. Yeah, so... Oh, I'm thinking
it
of...
is C Hero, so we care, for anchor purpose, we care about Cecil agility only.
This is true. Yes. Well, remembering who the hero is in a C hero is not nearly as important to me as it is our runners. The only reason our runners would actually have for putting someone in that middle slot is that good old plus 20% accuracy.
Right, and it does help to have someone speed your fastest character in the middle, so you guarantee they go first.
Mm-hmm.
That's just C hero stuff. Oh, that last Mega Nuke.
Oh no.
The walls fell off at a very inopportune moment.
Judge Joe. Oh no. That was a, I'm gonna give this one try. And if not, I just... interesting. That Joe is going back to the blue planet. As opposed to... Because, I mean, I don't know. I mean, people who know this game better than I do, I feel like it's like, if you're up there, you might as well go spy the Masamune altar. So this way you at least know what you're getting yourself into.
I can see the argument against it. It's a long spy.
It is. But if you gamble and it pays off, so i.e. something free, then, you know, like maybe if it's an Odin that you can Thunderstruck, or, you know, like I said earlier, a Water Hag, because we know that the King Queen Evelyn is already off the table for freebies, then that's a lot of experience as well.
Beauty and Discovery did give us a job dwarf check. That was an environmental science professor, I believe. And on Tall Grant's side, we saw the Mad Ogres give us an Avenger.
Yes.
Pretty good.
The second best additional character. You know what the first best additional character in this game is, right?
The Spoon?
Close. Dancing Dagger.
Ah. Good call.
I mean, how many times has a Dancing Dagger saved you early on?
Every time I do a Lit 3 seed and I get someone who can wield one.
Exactly. Remember, folks, Dancing Dagger is your friend. Dancing Daggers, mute knives, they may be small, but they do pack a punch.
Also remember, Dancing Daggers are tier 3, so they show up in S-Pro shops.
Mm-hmm. So, meaning that you can get them before you go underground or up to the moon. And we see Tall Grant attempting the Staleman Skull Chest again here, but they are swinging pretty quick there.
You can discover finding some interesting things in the Fey March. That was a Stardust Rod, a White Spear.
I mean, we know where all the good stuff is now.
Yeah, the summons are hoarding it all.
Yep. Actually, there's a Twin Harp underground and a Dwarf Axe. Even though that this is C Hero, we can still manipulate that agility, can't we?
We can. We just have to put the agility lower things on Cecil because he is always the anchor.
Yep. So, you know, you can put things like a Dwarf Axe or Curse Ring and a Dwarf Axe, but I don't know. I don't think that you would necessarily want to agility cripple the most OP character in the game.
Depends if you actually find weapons to make him the most OP character.
This is true. You do have to find the shiny sword
That's a Mylon Z at the queen spot.
with a Dr. Freebie. So a lot of good experience down there, and
Radical
relatively
came through
free.
the dolls. Radical came through the dolls, about to get the spoon, I believe. Yep.
Yep.
Oh no! I think Tall Grant didn't save after taking the Mad Ogres the first time.
Well, if he plays his cards right, he might actually be able to pull this off. However, I think he may want to change his row and then let Kane and Yang die, just so the cover strats can go off. But
I think he
actually,
has some sort of mage defense, so this should be fine.
yeah, I was gonna say he might have.
Oh, Zeus glove.
Yeah, I was gonna say a Zeus gauntlet on. I think.
And Cecil being the hero, we don't care if he dies; he will still get XP.
Yep. It's the only time you can sleep on the job and still get paid for it.
What? People sleep on the job?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not napping. Yet. Yeah.
Wait,
That's right.
Are you telling me you know sleep talk?
Now listen here. I'll tell you what. I don't know what you're talking about. I, the Wizard of Le Bleu, may or may not know a secret martial arts style only known to a select few as sleeping foo or sleep foo.
The Judge Joe taking on the Mylon. What's the plan here? We're gonna blink everyone up.
Yeah, I just want to point out that Judge Joe is currently doing all of this with the Dark Knight Cecil. That's it. Just the Dark Knight Cecil and a Tella that doesn't have all of his spells yet.
Think you need more than that?
No, you really don't. Because we have that cane. Because we have Berserk or Bacchus. Or both.
So the good news is Mylon Z is weak to spears because Mylon Z is flying. Reasons.
Yeah, he's kind of. I feel like he's kind of like Superman in that sense. You know, he's not actually flying; he's just manipulating the gravity around him.
Did you see what came out of the Stellan Skull chest? I missed it.
It was an item.
Very perceptive.
Thank you. I try.
That's a Masa from the Black Hat Lamia chest. Beowulf chat, thank you. It was a heroin rope, so.
Yes. See, told you. Right on the money.
So no real value out of the Evelyn traps.
Yeah, not
there
so
was an
much.
Avenger, but no big swingy.
So I mean, Tallgrad actually has gotten two really good items out of here. He's gotten the Avenger, which is just going to help him melt the Black Cat Lamia chest, but he does also have the Blizzard Spear. Blizzard Spear Avenger combo is going to do wonders in this flag set.
Yes, it will. There are two bosses that do not like getting hit with a angry Blizzard Spear cane.
Well, technically 3 actually. Well, 2.5.
2.25, I guess. There was also a power shirt in the basement, which is nice.
Yep. Combine that with the Zeus Gauntlet, and that kind of turns Kane into the MVP of the seed so far.
Things you never thought you would say.
I mean, yep. I will admit that I stand by those words for the seed so far.
And Fusion Discovery showing us the Sand Ruby, giving us a Fusoya.
Speaking of Mop Fu, this seed just took a turn, or rather, this race just took a turn.
That Fu, depending on where the spells line up, represents a lot of power right now.
So you wanted 900 HP nuke, right?
I don't think I've ever seen it at 900.
I think the soonest I've seen it is maybe around 11 or 1200.
Yeah, it's about the fastest I've seen it. More commonly, 1800.
Yep. So, Dave, are you one of those people that when you get a Fusoya, that you check his spells to see like what you got going on, or do you wait until you get into a boss battle?
I like checking immediately so I know what I have to do.
And maybe rearrange the spells a little bit.
Well, if I just see kind of a mediocre spell list, maybe pop over and take what's in Mist Cave or the Waterfall.
Yeah, actually, now that you mention it, those Baron guards are at the Waterfall, so that's a nice, easy fight right there.
Yes, it is.
Tall Grant going after Mylon and friends.
Yep, clear out Evelyn, now gonna continue. Now it's gonna blow up the seed with an Avenger Power Shirt Zeus Gauntlet combo. And Judge Joe showing us that you don't need levels to get through the Queen spot in the Fey March.
Yep, and I want to point out that he actually did this very, very nicely. My hats off to him for taking out the DKC in his party, because he knows he's going to lose those levels. So why? Oh wait, no, never mind. Hey, our heroes. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep. Under normal circumstances, that would be a very good idea. That's what I should be saying.
But yeah, came in with everyone at 1 HP, got some blinks rolling on everyone because it's a pure physical boss, and just let Kane hit things for a while.
Chat pointing out that that would be a perfect time to go do heart.
But Fusion Discovery is Fusion Discovery is heading there right now.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna get that traditional heart music, right? That we love and know so much, right?
We might. It could be in the pool, but no. Instead we're gonna get one of 400-ish randomized songs. Most of them from video games. All but one, I think. 2. There might be Shredword's not.
Wait. I thought Shredword was still in here.
No, Shredword's not from a game. I thought that was an original. It is? Oh, is that just a different version of song? Apologies. Okay. It's a special version of Eddie's song. Apologies. Mm-hmm. You tell us it's so long since I've heard it, I forgot what it sounded like.
And we get to keep talking through that, right? The music with the commentary.
Yeah, we do. We should keep talking right now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Do it. That was a lovely rendition of a mystery song.
Yes, that's one song that, well, has the strongest chance of being something from the Xeno series or something from the Lunar series. But we do see Beauty and Discovery is rewarded with the pan to go bonk our ever so forgetful and very weakened monk. While we were watching that amazing display against the D-Mist, we did see that both Tall Grant and CS Radical did both raise the Lunar Whale.
Judge Joe took out Dwarf Castle, which had Dark Knight Cecil on the CPU, which is honestly kind of a rude combination. And it was awarded with a Sid. And a package, I guess.
Kind of kind of a pairing. You know, it's the CPU is a mechanized device, and well, Sid is the world's greatest engineer, so it, I mean, kind of makes sense.
And he solves problems the same way I do when they're acting up. Hit them with a large hammer.
It hit them with something big and bonkiful.
More importantly, from that Twin Heart check, and we didn't see Beauty and Discovery go there immediately. That was D-Mist there, and Kano Free is on.
Yep, and Kano Free being that, well, you can run on over to Mysidia and talk to, well, really what's left of Radio's mom. I mean, she has been laying there for a while. Out in the sun, just kind of getting a tan.
Exactly. That's her story. She's just getting her tan on, you know.
Look, in the wise words of a very naive Batman, she's just taking a nap. She's just sleeping forever.
Is she pining for the fjords?
Yes. All right, and we see Beauty and Discovery going for the rest of Evelyn Castle. Grimoire not paying out as much as anyone would like with just a chocobo.
That's about the opposite of what you wanted out of Grimoire.
You know, honestly, I am okay with a chocobo as opposed to an imp or a mage.
You can roll imp or mage out of Grimoire. I think chocobo is the weakest summon. Well, okay, it could be worse. It could be a mist from someone who's at 1 HP. There we go.
How about this? It could be a miss from an Odin. I have seen that before. I have thrown my controller out the room. It happens to the well, everyone. Radical on his quest for higher cholesterol by creating some scrambled eggs.
Delicious eggs.
I can feel my cholesterol rising from here. All right. Okay, so we see Judge Joe exiting Fabul. Wait, did Judge Joe not do Fabul earlier?
No, Judge Joe faded it. Was looking to set up Sheila 1 in the. Was hoping to get the pan to set up Sheila 1 or Sheila and Fabul. Wasn't happening. The pan is.
Something that only Beauty and Discovery
Yeah.
has.
We're not likely to see many runners find it given where it's hiding.
Yep. And actually, currently, for as much as some of our runners are kind of doing this weird Mobius strip, tracing each other's steps, we just by looking at like their objectives completed and key items, we can see the level of divergence that they took to get to this point.
Yes, we can. Hologram going to give us the first plate up Babel. You have a tower key in hand, so it's 2 checks.
Yep, definitely. From a standpoint of trying to get as much done in one area as possible. So a couple boss checks, a couple key item checks.
All right.
This particular spot is definitely good for that. I personally, so I mean, everyone has their je ne sais quoi, their thing that they just fade, right? Some people it's the harp, some people it's antlion. Me personally, I am just not a fan of the Tower of Babel, and for the sole reason of it's a long walk. You can't warp, you can't exit, and if none of it pans out, that's a lot of walking back.
It is, and I think for one of our runners, Ordeals is that fade.
Yes, it's realizing that it's quite the ordeal. And we see a good old Ashura up here, just doing the dance, listening to some good old tunes. She's just out here to dance. She doesn't want to be bothered by no
She's
one.
up here vibing.
Yep. She's up here having a girls' night out with herself.
It looks like a strategy. Use 2 Star Veils to bounce a wall onto Asura and let the Avenger do its work.
Yep, and we actually will go ahead and get that lovely rendition of music again on Judge Joe's side. Wait, so does this mean that because we've heard the song once, we get to talk through this one? Right? That's how that goes?
I think we'll give Chad a second helping in music.
Unless
something really exciting happens.
I think we should MST3K this. For those of you born after the 21st century, that is Mystery Science Theater 3000. Go look it up. You'll thank me later, or not. It's totally fine. But check it out. Educate yourselves.
A fantastic show if you like just mockery in all sorts of various movies.
We have free enterprise fans of all different ages. From the prehistoric era to just before the pandemic. So yeah, all shapes, sizes, and ages. All right, and Stones
Thank you,
from
Joe.
Ultima.
Joe being a man of the people, telling us what this mystery song was. Okay, and Joe is through as well. We'll get the pan. We did see an edge at the package. Radical choosing to take the edge. That'll be good for any runners who went through Castle Evelyn and found that Masa.
And in which case, with Radical, he did go through Eblin and pick up that Masa. And we see on Tall Grant's side, completing the Tower Babel, getting another Masa. Now, if Grant would just go and do the package, I think he'll be quite happy.
That requires finding the package first.
Exactly.
We did also see that apparently Fanatic's Tower from FF6 got swapped with the Tower of Babel today.
Yep,
Yeah, we had Asura and Magus Sisters in there.
And on Radical side, a very, very, very well rewarding gamble. Both an Edge and a Kenatsu.
Yeah, that is a huge reward. That is one closer to getting getting our 8 objectives. So one extra boss down, greatly increased firepower in this party.
Yep. That's my how the turntables. I mean, tables turned. That's what I said.
Oh, Muramasa, yeah, that edge is loaded.
So suddenly, the MVP of the siege shifted very quickly from that cane to an edge. That actually raises a good point. Do you keep Cecil at with the power shirt and Zeus collar, or do you just kind of mosey that on over to Edge with the Muramasa?
It's 140 attack. I think you want the strength on it.
Yeah.
Is this Judge Joe pulling off the Rex banner right now?
I think so.
One without, and
Yep.
just Dark Imps.
Hey, you know what? That's actually not terrible to know because, well, you pick up that Earth Crystal and you're like, oh, okay, I know that the dimps are up there. I can just kind of melt through them real quick.
So what that tells me is Judge Joe is most likely going to be in face check mode and just will likely be diving the moon soon.
Yep. Because we hear unless
it's the Baron Key.
Oh yes. But it's not just a catclaw.
Radical does have the Baron Key, and we'll be getting another boss down soon.
Yep, and I don't.
Warp glitch.
Well, I was gonna say I don't remember who the starting. Well, oh, that's right. It was either Leg or. Yep.
Tall Grant has not done Dwarf yet, and doesn't have access to the Warp glitch, not having that Foo. Beauty, I think, just forgot about the Warp glitch or didn't have it on Foo yet.
Yep. And actually, being at Baron Castle, that's going to be a solid 3 checks. One of which we already know.
Yeah.
But you got the Baron Throne, and then you've got the Baron Basement because Case Summon is on. This is going to it's going to be interesting what Baron Castle produces.
And the big thing here is you have to go to Baron Castle as soon as you get the key because the starting boss was an objective.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not even a gamble. You know there's value.
Now, I think the big question will be, is Baron Castle just required or is it hard required?
Well, if it's double required, Radical's in go mode.
Yes, time will tell.
Because this will be 6. If there's a Val or an Elements in here, it's just go straight to the Masa Ultra and end it.
Yep. And we see Judge Joe making his way up. Starting to make his way up ordeals, but resetting out of a Mom Bomb.
Mom Bomb's stinky. I don't want to deal with that.
Alright, come on. Able to take on the Fey March, but not able to take on a Mom Bomb at Ordeals 1? I don't know.
I think the difference here, one of those was an objective.
Yeah. Still.
And Radical's yeah, the viruses here, they tickle a little.
Yep. Although, now that I think about it, maybe Joe's just trying to keep that DKC where he is, and not, let the agility go up anymore. Because there's a difference between Dark Knight Cecil agility, if I'm not mistaken, and Pally Cecil.
There is. Pally Cecil does gain agility faster. Starts with a little bit less, but gains it faster. Or is it starts with more and gains it faster? I forget which switch. We did see a Rosa come out of Baron Castle, and Radical was, nah.
Nope, not today. Too late in the game.
I have Fu. Fu's good enough of a white mage.
Yep. Yeah, and Fu can also cast Meteor and not die.
Something else interesting when it comes to taking that edge. That spoon.
Oh, that is a throwable piece of silverware.
Yeah, that can allow you to carve quite a bit off of, say, the Masa altar.
Yep. I mean, can go ahead and shave off a good chunk of the Masa altar, or if you just don't feel like fighting Valvalis, unless Valvalis is at the Masa altar, in which case, you have no choice. Yeah, then that's it.
Dude, he came back to Varian, getting the Darkness Crystal. We see on Tall Grand Sky, Kane showing off being patently average, swinging with the Avenger for just short of the 1800 the Dragon has. And then mocking us by hitting for 2k.
I have to wonder now, because we know him as patently average Kane. If you cast slow on him, does that make him patiently average?
Very well played.
Thank you. And we see Radical making his way on down to the Baron basement.
That White Spear's a nice dart.
That is a nice dart. Power Bonk, a Ninja Garb, and a 6 treasure chest.
I don't hate the White Spear out of there.
No, definitely, it's definitely not bad. A Gungnir out of the basement.
That's more darts.
Oh, a Ninja Sword. That's nice. Radical? What's you doing there, buddy?
Everything.
I mean, okay, you know what? As a fellow loot goblin in this game, in the randomizer, I can't say anything. It's like I love looting everything, but at the same time, I'm terrible at dark matter hunts.
That's oddly contradictory.
I mean, it's like Christmas or some type of gift-giving season where you're like, it's like that scene in the Christmas Story where it's like, oh boy, that's mine. And, suddenly it's a crystal sword or 7. And, 46 glass hats and 10 white shirts. Oh, Valvalis.
So
wow.
We have required Baron Castle.
Yeah.
Depending where Element is hiding, Radical is very much in a driver's seat right now.
Yeah, I honestly, if I was Radical, after doing Baron Basement here, I go straight to the moon.
Bang zoom straight to the moon, see what you're up against, because that's your final boss.
Yep. Me personally, because I know this is a win game, I start from the Masa altar and work my way back. And it's mostly because you have to do the Masa altar anyway. You just go straight there. It might be double required.
And Radical wants nothing to do with this Val. Gonna throw the kitchen sink at it. I don't blame anyone.
Nope.
I don't think there's gonna be much you find at Masa Ultra that's gonna be more annoying than this Val right here.
I mean, all Gauntlet at the Masa altar?
Yeah, darts don't really get you through that much faster.
No, they don't.
I think
it's still
you
rude.
chuck the spoon right here.
Oh yeah. Like especially if you haven't done your grind yet, you definitely throw the spoon here. But the question is, do you keep Val in spin mode?
I think Val gets a decent number of evade rolls. You want to knock her out of it.
Yeah. Agreed. And you let her weak everyone except for Cecil, and you just put him in cover mode.
Cecil's zerking right now, but I agree with you on that. Get blinks on Cecil. You have the tele to keep them up.
Yep, because if you don't have elixirs, Blink is your next best friend.
Judge Joe is on the moon right now. We're going to see what's at the Masa altar. Unfortunately for Joe, we know Go mode cannot be up, or Joe cannot find all the objectives here.
Wait, did we see where our elements was?
No, but we know where Ruby, Kenatsu, and Val are, and they are not on the moon.
This is absolutely true. All right, moment of truth. And with that moment of truth, we see Radical through that Valvalis fight. Gonna get a lovely chunk of experience.
Oh, and that is a very free fight at the Masa altar.
All right, I forgot about Dark Elf being free. Oh, that is a hook.
We have a white spear.
Ooh.
Yeah, you just load up the cane, and that Dark Elf's about to have a very bad day.
I mean, White Spear Avenger or White Spear Bacchus.
A power shirt and Zeus gauntlet. That Dark Elf is in for serious trouble.
Yep, and with Dark Elf being here, he doesn't get all that sweet magic resist.
Right, and that triple spell Dark Elf casts at the start has a set magic power, so it's not gonna blast you into next week.
Ah, that's how that works. Neat. So big question here. You just got the hook. Did you go hook route to double boss check?
Straight to the moon. You're at 7. You know where your last objective is?
Oh, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. But it looks like Radical may actually go check the hook route. Because, I mean, when you get down there, you see a character, and you already spot a boss. But you definitely go ahead and save.
No, we're pointing out Radical's not done Mylon Z. So.
Oh. Yeah.
Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh! Radical could just go to the Fey March and end it.
Yeah.
Mylon Z, Kenatsu, Ruby, Calbrena. That's 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
Yep. That is pseudo go mode. So we will and we see Tall Grant going to that Masa altar, about to get into his Wombo Dedo free fight. However, well, actually, yeah, and Judge Joe having that Dark Knight Cecil still in his party with that slightly lowered agility definitely showcasing how to manipulate even something as C Hero.
Yeah. Well run so far. Just showing we don't need no stinking paladin.
I guess you could say he's making light of the situation. Yeah, a little bit of a stretch.
These puns are gonna send me straight into the dark.
Well, in that case, I wish you good night.
This whole... Well, fortunately, it's dawning on me that these puns have to end at some point.
At some point, you know, the we're an hour and 2 minutes in, to which, by the way, happy hour mark. And I don't. Well, I mean, clearly we do not have any runners that have finished on stream. Yes, we do. As I go ahead and scroll down, while we are watching all of the awesome fights here, Tall Grant getting his Adamant Rock, we do have a first place off-stream finisher, Fried the Potato, with an official time of 58 minutes and 56 seconds.
It's GG's the Potato.
GG's the Potato.
And the Adamant Rock from the Moss Altar, not quite the reward you're looking for.
Nope. And speaking of rewards, we'll see. Oh, that's a reset on Beauty and Discovery side. So close. And I was looking on a different screen. What boss did we see in Evelyn Cave?
We saw some calamari show up.
Love me some good sushi.
What we might see Radical do is just peek the first boss. Check if it's exactly elements. If not, they'll reset out.
Yep.
Well, I guess Radical lets me look for Mylon Z, but we know it's not there.
Yep, we know it's not there. Maybe he is hunting for elements.
Right, so Mylon Z or elements, these are the only two bosses that... Or is continuing to take... Oh, it's healing up after that previous trap chest. Okay.
Yep, do not blame him. Ah, look, it's an antlion. On the moon.
In its natural habitat.
In his natural habitat.
Should we be surprised by this?
I mean, I'm not surprised. Are you surprised?
No.
Speaking of other free fights, we see Judge Joe getting his 3 attacks in on the water hack. You get that knocked out of the way. Nice little 31,000 experience. But unfortunately,
it's useful for whatever wyverns ail you.
Yep. Wyvern is probably just hanging out off screen, having himself a little cup of hot cocoa. I can just picture him.
Yeah.
Yep, and it was not what he was wanting.
It's Leviathan.
Yep, a water caster, but not the water caster that we want. Yep, and Radical knowing that, well, really options are limited. So things are going to be either underground or on the moon.
It looks like we're seeing a tower play next. There's going to Radical making his way up Fnatic's tower. Judge Joe deciding to pick a fight with Odin. Is this Ribbon Room Odin?
I believe so.
Be Grant fighting it as well. This is an Odin that exists.
Oh yeah. However, it's not an Odin to be trifled with. Unless you are very, very versed in the ways of either Odin thunder striking or jumping at just the right moment with Kane.
Hey, we have a Kane. We have, well, Joe has illusions. We have sources of slow. Problems, I don't think we have a way to make Odin RA1. Everyone RA1. Oh, we have the curse ring, so maybe.
Yep, and we see Judge Joe taking another swing at Odin, hopefully before he gets his swing off and, kind of takes out the whole party again, much like this. However, that particular spot, because the magic power isn't that high, that is one of the very few spots that you can actually survive his Zentatsuken or his AoE attack.
That's a big swingy behind the Odin. That is the sword behind it. And I guess an Earth Crystal too.
Yep, it will allow a person to go ahead and get that lovely, lovely treasury.
We're an hour and 7 minutes in. You think we're gonna see a treasury rating?
No, especially with the Crystal Sword Cecil now.
Here's your Earth Crystal, go right to treasury. Here's the thing I can tell you don't need to.
Yep. And it's going to be exactly all tier 4 and less. Although, actually, I take that back. It is T Wildish. We'll see a Stardust Rod in there.
And we can't see anything much higher. I believe it's also max tier 6.
Yep. Although it's kind of funny that Stardust Rod is only tier 6.
That's the fitting spot for it.
Yeah, that's fair. Because it's plus 15 wisdom, right?
Correct.
Yep. Has a cast of Comet.
And Beauty making his way to the moon, going to go down and take the relatively free fight in the Masa altar and then see where he goes from there.
Yep, and I appreciate your use of, just want to point that out, your use of relatively free, because, I mean, you and I both know.
These can still light you up.
Yeah, I was going to say, even though that set magic power has set magic power, Dark Elf will still hit you pretty hard, because the Masa altar, or in the vanilla game, the Ogopogo altar, that is the Ogopogo altar, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Has, unlike some of the other spots in this game where, like the Barren Basement, where the magic power is through the roof, the Masa altar actually has one of the very few spots in the game where both the physical attack power and the magic attack power are both relatively high. So they're just going to hurt.
Yes, they will. Dark Elf doesn't actually punch until the second phase, but oh boy, does it punch!
Yep, and he punches hard because he got kicked out of his normal humble abode.
You'd be angry too if these adventuring parties keep coming to your home, playing music at all hours of the day.
Yeah, you think that they'd call the authorities. Although I think the authorities have been all wiped out by Zemus.
The authorities are too busy issuing parking tickets for people who leave the Falcon and the Whale outside town.
Yes, the same. What you mean? It's not okay to park a giant Lunarian whale outside of a very tiny village?
Yeah, generally frowned upon.
Yep. Although, I mean, do you write? Is it just one parking ticket, or is it like 100 for the lunar whale?
One very big parking ticket.
Huh?
Like it's a parking ticket written on the same size paper as those giant novelty checks.
Oh yeah, that would make the most sense, wouldn't it? Just giant like Gondor feather ink well and quill. Takes you 5 minutes just to write the name.
And hey, value just giving it an Excalibur. I say just an Excalibur because we very recently got the superior sword.
Yep, although the Excal is still a good weapon for throwing at someone's face.
Unfortunately, Tall Grant doesn't have the package, which means no edge.
Yep, not yet.
And
Not yet.
We see Radical making his way down to the Fey March. And
Yep.
we know this is going to end it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So there are 9 people racing tonight, and aside from Potato, there have been no other finishers.
Which is, I mean, it just showcases the level of, well, really how much RNG can have an impact versus, just going, because a lot of times we would see people pick up these objectives and then go do a grind, but there's not really a grind that has to be done per se with when you have a win game.
Right, and especially when you have a Fusoya who can honestly nuke through a lot of spots. Or you just chip away at Mylon Z 700 to 1000 HP at a time with everyone at 1 HP.
Yep. No. Right.
Your turn, buddy. Oh, might be going to save.
Okay, yeah. Which I was not forming a full sentence there because I could have sworn I saw CS Radical save.
Use a cabin, I think, may have forgotten to save.
Ah, gotcha. Hey, you know what? And even if he did save and he just kind of turned around to go back and save, when you're at one objective away from completion, you double save just in case.
So, does Radical still have that full moon in his inventory?
Doesn't matter. I think he's got Muramasa on.
Right, but Mylon Z flies.
Yes.
So we'll take double damage from the full moon.
And yes, I 100% agree, because that is true. However, that doesn't mean anything if Edge is dead.
That's a very good point. I can't argue with this.
Like, great character, great weapons, can exploit the weakness, doesn't matter if he has 0 HP.
Yeah. Very good point. Oh, okay. Radical's just gonna do bad things to Mylon Z. Gotcha.
Oh yeah. And this works just because, smash, boom, bang,
Cecil Mad, Cecil Smash, problem solved.
Yep.
Turns out getting angry is a very good way to get yourself through a lot of seeds.
Yep. And with that, for our first place on-screen winner, CS Radical, overall second place runner for the seed with an official time of 1 hour, 15 minutes, 29 seconds.
We'll see if Radical wants to join us.
Yeah. GG's to Radical. With that ding in my ear and the click of the mouse, we are joined by CS Radical. Welcome, GG's.
Thank you. Kind of annoyed that I could have gotten this 8th objective sooner because I can't count, but hey, who's complaining here?
Okay.
You know what?
Cool.
It's Friday evening. Counting's for... It's too late in the week to count.
Hey, you know what? Yeah, I'm right there with NG Dave. So, Radical, I have a very important question for you. What is your response to something you said earlier in the day? And I believe it was something along the lines of, if I finish in the top X percent, it'll be a something, something, something. And here you are, finishing first on Restream and second place overall.
Look, it's not my fault that Turtle is sitting behind the package. It's not my fault.
So I want to point out that you are actually, I think aside from maybe Potato, I believe you are so far, as to our knowledge, the only person that's actually gone and checked package, aside from Joe, maybe.
Joe is not.
Joe is not. Okay.
But
well,
you are the only person on Restream who warp glitched.
Yeah,
yes.
It kind of worked out nicely that way. I thought about as the run was going on, I'm like, there are a couple of areas where I might actually have an edge on people because I just went Darkness Crystal to check the character, and it just happened to be a Tella after already being at Ordeals. Okay, cool, warp glitch. And then after finding package, because I just checked it because I'm like, I got so much equipment for an edge. If it's an edge, I'll do it. If it's not, I'll come back later, I guess. And it happened to be edge. So it's kind of some lucky breaks here that it worked out very nicely, that just the order of operations that I kind of did here just worked out extremely well.
Yep, and I mean, there was a period of time where it's just like, going Baron Basement, the package, getting that edge, getting the Kenatsu out the way, the Val is in the Baron Basement, where it's just one right after the other. Did you feel any kind of sense of like overwhelming, like, wow, this is just one objective right after the other, like that sense of, how is this happening? Am I going to win?
I considered that for a moment, but I also reminded myself that the early game I struggled a little bit. That Ogopogo fight at Hobbs just to get the cane really took a lot longer than I really needed it to. So I felt behind for a good chunk of it. Granted, like you said, getting that early warp glitch, getting the package to work out, it kind of made me think, okay, maybe I'm catching up. I didn't so much think as I was getting ahead, though. I thought more I was keeping lock and step with people. Seeing Potato finish, almost 20 minutes ago now? I'm thinking, okay, I'm sure I'm going to see most people start to keep up and, this will balance it out later. And yet here we are. I'm kind of surprised by this, to be honest.
Yeah, how does that make you feel? Like legit?
Oh, ew. We're down to 2 spots that elements can be, by the way.
Ooh.
So has anybody? Well, I'll answer the question first before I ask one of my own, I guess. It feels kind of surreal to know that I've won a stream race, actually. So it's weird. So yeah, it's probably not settling in until after I leave the call here. But now my question is, did elements get found, and does anybody check the altar?
No, no one has. The altar was checked. That was Dark Elf.
Okay, not terrible with the crystal sword.
Elements has not been found.
Okay.
We are down to Giant 2, Zot 2, and Sealed Cave, where it could be hiding, I believe.
Yep.
So buried in. I'm not going there.
And the
Pretty
Giant
much.
2 is behind an evil wall.
Okay, so buried, and I'm definitely not going there.
Yeah, I just figured I'd pile on for that one.
Well, you're making me feel a lot better about the package hit and the warp glitch now.
Oh yeah, case in point, it definitely pays to know your flags, because I know that I think it was actually the last time I did comms where it seemed like people may have forgotten that it was Owen game and not Owen Crystal.
I mean, in my case, it really was like I knew Warp Glitch existed, and it honestly didn't check into my brain until after the fight that I went, wait, Tella's got Warp. Because I was about to be like, I don't even have Warp Glitch. Wait. Okay, we're good.
The old man has saved you.
The old man, I mean, words
The only
that
time
are,
he's probably ever going to do that for me.
you and many others. I've been hogging the mic. Dave, do you have any questions for Radical?
I think we've covered everything we wanted to with Radical. GG's on a great race.
Yeah, obviously GG's to Potato, who royally trounced me anyway, regardless of me finishing first on stream. But hey, it's Potato. Shocker. But otherwise, yeah, this is kind of funny for me, being someone who doesn't normally finish even in the top half on the community races, finishing first on stream. So I'm taking that. I'm taking that to the grave right now.
You heard it here first, folks. CS Radical is going to take his win to the grave. And you know, I can see you doing like the hand clasps together, shaking it on each side of your head in joy. Because you know, I know that you talk about only being a sort of casual runner, and you know, SMS being your jam. But you know, even only running a certain flag set or playing from time to time, I mean, case in point, it shows that you've been improving. I mean, coming in first on Restream and second place overall. You know, it definitely shows that you are getting better.
Yeah, it's always just keep on working. Granted, I don't play nearly as much as others do, so the process is a little bit slower, but progress is still progress. So I'm not complaining.
Exactly.
Also, in case you were wondering, Radical, we just found elements.
Uh-oh, where?
Zot 2.
Okay, that's not as bad as it could have been. Could have been worse.
Yep. All right. I don't have any other questions. Radical, how do you feel about this? Well, actually, other than how do you feel about this flag set overall? Do you think it's something you'll play again?
I can never not like a win game flag set. You know, when you're a guy like me, like I say, casual, very casual player who doesn't really dabble in the magic that is agility, Z fights are still kind of scary in certain things unless you're playing SMS. So if you give me the prospect of not Z fights, you have my attention. I will always be interested in that.
Definitely a fun set of objectives to play around with for sure. That being said, do you have any final thoughts, Mr. Number One on stream here today?
I hope nobody was placing bets in Vegas there, because you would have made a lot of money tonight if they took those odds. But otherwise, thanks to everybody in the Restream group tonight. You guys probably did a fantastic job. I will watch this back and see what happened. And GG's to everybody else who is finished now and will be finishing later, as they are still trudging through this very interesting seed tonight.
And thank you for the lovely and amazing performance here. Ladies and gentlemen, our first place on stream runner and second place overall, CS Radical. Sir, thank you very much.
Yeah, have a good night, everybody. Take care.
And while we were talking with Radical, Warlink finished in third place with a time of 1:18:34. So GG's to Warlink. And we've had runners looking all over the place for these remaining bosses. Evil Wall at Giant 1. That's just icky.
That is very icky, because that is a lot of health with a lot of punching power.
All that health means that, well, we did have Thunder Claw's Conquer. Never mind.
Thunder what?
I was saying I managed to seed fleet myself.
It's okay, because nobody in this community has ever seed blended. Ever.
Again, it's Friday night. Rating is hard.
Look, so long as you don't try to do the combining of numbers and letters on stream, I think we'll be okay. You know, that 4-letter word that is rather taboo or forbidden?
Pies?
Zunk? Dang, now I want pies.
Oh, ties, not pies.
Oh. But, I mean, we can have pies, right?
Yeah, we get pies with our ties.
What? Hold on. Wait, hang on. Can't seed blend if you don't run? I don't know who you're talking about there, Scala.
Oh, this is a giant of ick.
Ooh. That's bygones be bygones. You just run away and go elsewhere. You don't need that.
This bygone be punchy.
Yeah, you don't need that kind of detriment in your life.
If this bygone put someone in the front row, or in the back row, you could see them explode.
Ooh, and we see just how hard he can punch, hitting that Lunarian for a whopping 2,800 and change damage.
Vigan has said no Lunarians allowed, taking out Cecil and Fu.
Yep. This is a space. It's a space non-space person club.
Hold on. Let me carry the space. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep, math checks out. Oh, I said the word.
Oh, now you're saying bad words.
Oh, yep. If I had the funnies, I'd newspaper myself.
Just with the Sunday edition comics, nothing else?
That's it. It's the only thing I would keep out of the newspaper. Because, look, I mean, if I'm going to get newspaper, I want to at least have something fun to read afterwards.
Fiery, the Hook does not. Baron Castle does, and the Baron Key is in Luca Cave.
Oh, yeah, via a good old warp check, isn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't watching when Radical's thing went, but Luca Key's got to be on the moon somewhere, or behind that luggage.
I'm thinking. Well, no, it can't be behind the luggage because we've seen. No, that's right. Beauty and Discovery was like 2 swings away from beating Dr. Luggage.
Okay, so we need the Hook, is what you're saying, and the only person who found the Hook is the one person who didn't need it.
Yep. So Rat Tail was not behind Luca because, well, we see a couple runners with Rat Tail, but no Luca Key.
Right, but they don't have the Hook, so they couldn't turn in the Rat Tail.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so it's entirely possible that Luca Key could be behind Rat Tail.
And we see Joe finally giving up and going up for deals, going to be sorely disappointed by the absolute nothing that's here.
Oh, right. So things are clicking together in my head. That half of our runners on stream did Dwarf Castle, but did not do Warp Glitch.
And one of our runners said Dwarf Castle is a stinky place. I'm not going there. We do get a bit of giant character. The giant today was being run by a bard. Or we're being saved by a bard.
I mean, it's a great hiding place. Because who's gonna come looking for you in like a 100-foot tall mobile Gundam or giant 100-foot mech warrior?
I think that's closer to a mech warrior. Gundams tend to be more real robot sized.
What? And the Giant of Babel is not? I mean, the thing was like
That's more
towering.
Super Robot.
Well, okay, now let's go ahead and put this into perspective real quick. Okay, so we see that just to the northwest of Evelyn Castle Mountains, the Giant of Babel is at least 3 times the size. 1, 2,
Right.
3 to 4 times the size of the mountains. Now, if we go ahead,
Which would put the Giant in Super Robot range.
and now describe to me Super Robot range.
Very large mechs, usually with some sort of fantastic abilities.
With fantastic abilities and fantastic guns.
Those two.
Yep. Usually. Alright, and we see Beauty and Discovery going up Zot with that Earth Crystal, who will fight the elements at Zot 2. And that, I think, yeah. Nope.
Nope. We have not seen Beauty and Discovery do the package nor the Baron Castle, so we'll still be. This will take Beauty to 7.
Yes.
The question is, will Tall Grant remember the warp glitch after this fight? Because if so, Grant can go straight to Baron and end the seed.
Yes. Yes. Agreed.
I believe Grant has gone up Zot, so the Ruby fight will end it.
Okay. Well, let's see. Got some experience. Oh. I thought Tall Grant did do the Dwarf Castle, but
Grant didn't have the package lit up, which came from there. So Dwarf Castle is hard required this seed.
I mean,
not hard required, but
well,
if you want to get through in a timely fashion, it's hard required because otherwise you're gonna have to track down a Luca key.
To which I definitely would not want to go chase down that Luca key. But here's the question: does Grant remember that the warp glitch is on?
Please warp, please.
Wait.
Lighting Nutella, okay.
Okay. Cool. And he will be quite happy once he sees this.
This is going to be, you're at 7, you know Ruby gave you the starting key item, go straight to Baron.
It's like, just, you can't menu there fast enough.
You know exactly where your victory is, just go straight there.
Yep, and while our runners here on stream are, well, doing just that, running around, we do have our 4th place winner off stream with Tybalt at an official time of 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 21 seconds. Which was 8 minutes ago, but still our 4th place runner. And we see Beauty and Discovery heading over to Coco's Forge to go ahead and show us what's going to pop up.
Is Forge even on?
Forge is...
wait, it's Sea Hero Cecil, so it's always going to be a Cecil weapon.
Yep, but let me see here. No dupes, Hero, T-Wildish.
No, Sea Hero means it's always going to be a Cecil TBA weapon.
Yes, but does that mean it can be scrap?
I don't know which pool scrap is in. Voice of God telling us that it's not scrap is not in Cecil's pool.
I don't know. Wait, Voice of God. I heard, just what's on the other end of a Chocobo spectrum? It's like what the Chocobo says when you can't catch it in the forest.
I believe the Chocobo just says you're never gonna catch me when it's running away.
Yep, Caliburn. And we see Tallgrant with an official time of 1 hour, 36 minutes, 9 seconds, and an interview.
Yes! Very well done, Scala.
Yeah. And the GG's to Tallgrant being our second on-stream winner, 5th place overall, and looks like we will be joined by Tallgrant here for an interview. By that ding in my ear, and yeah, that's all I got. Welcome in, Tallgrant. GG's.
Hey, thank you, Blue. That was quite the seed. That was actually a lot of fun, but a little bit more work than I was expecting when I signed up tonight.
Yeah, you showed us a lot of the seed.
Yeah, well, you know, I kind of got the feeling at the very beginning when I saw what turned out to be Elements handing me an item that I knew I'd kind of have to get back to Barren Castle. And as I kind of cleared through most of the Earth without having it in hand, it was kind of a shaky situation. But I think that's what pushed me ultimately when I got up to the moon to go back, check that Odin up in the ribbon room, which led to that Earth Crystal, which was something that I think other runners may have skipped. And then, of course, it was really tempting to do the Dwarf Castle without a Black Mage. In fact, I tried it, but I don't know, it's 2 nights in a row that Dwarf Castle has not been my friend.
Well, it's fortunate you got through without the Black Mage. Or you failed to get through without the Black Mage because that warp glitch.
Oh yeah, that's a big deal. And in fact, I've got a fellow runner I like to give a lot of grief because he was in a race where he skipped out on warp glitch and it nearly cost him what he was doing. Yeah, that was there were some interesting rude combinations of bosses. I mean, that one too of Dark Knight Cecil and the CPU was not fun. The evil wall that I went through was just absolutely wretched to have to fight. And just the Calbrena dolls just early in the seed without really weapons or levels to do anything. And then, of course, the rough time that I had over in Castle Evelyn. But, you know, it was kind of fun to slog through. It was interesting. It was really entertaining to do a party without magic for such a long time. I don't think I've had a seed like this in quite a while.
Yeah, and, you know, we mentioned that you definitely showed us a lot of the seed. And, you know, we saw that some of the trials and tribulations that you experienced going through it, namely that very rude Eblin Castle.
Yeah, I frankly needed a better plan when I went in there, and I got overconfident when I had that when I found that Avenger. Frankly, if I'd just sat and taken the time to fix my rows, it probably would have been fine. But honestly, it gets back to anchoring properly is a big deal. You know, I don't know if you saw the contrast in that evil wall fight where Cecil went with the crystal sword equipped, and I just got walloped versus Cecil went with the dwarf axe equipped, and it was very, very survivable.
Yep, and you know, even being that, because something that we were talking about earlier, even though it's Sea Hero,
Val down on the basement throne.
Yep, Val was down in the basement, and Kenatsu, fun fact, was actually behind the package.
Okay.
With an edge.
Yeah, that edge would have been nice. I think I was carrying 2 Mazamoons at the end. It feet didn't pop up, but it was really enjoyable seed. I had a really good time running it. It really tests you. It almost felt like the old days of, well, not that old days, but doing CZ5 where you're just digging around looking for bosses. I kind of held out hope that it would be I'd clear 5 bosses and then head up to the moon to go take care of the Mazamune altar, but it just started to look like the answer was going to be partially up on the moon to solve it. And I mean, I don't think you get warp without going up there to get Tella.
Agreed, and it's one of the very few seeds that you actually see Tella as a valued character.
Tella has a lot of value. I've come to really love what he's doing a bit more. Just too many useful things he can pull out of his toolkit to get you through.
He is still a emergency cure 4 in a pinch.
Yeah, I probably should have shopped harder for cure potions too. That was a bit of a rough time for it, but yeah, that was a really, really fun seed. The flag set's really interesting. I think this is actually my first time playing it. I think this is actually the 4th community race under it, is it not?
It is. It's our last community race with this flag set.
Well, wonderful. But yeah, it's a fun seed. It's always nice on a Friday night to get in and do a community race and hang out with people, and feels nice to get some revenge. I think I finished before Beauty did tonight.
You did.
Yes, we can confirm. Beauty
Well,
is on his way to finding go mode.
Well, that's good because he smoked me last night. So, but the other guys, the other folks on stream have been absolutely wonderful. I saw CS Radical put up a top finish. I saw E Ninja put up a great time, and don't let E Ninja fool you. He knows things and has become quite the player, and he'll tell you the exact opposite. He is very, very good. And the fourth person who I believe on stream tonight, who was the fourth person on stream tonight?
That would be Judge Joe.
Oh, Judge Joe. Judge Joe is a force to be reckoned with. He'll try you and find you guilty. Now, but I would say anybody who's listening, if you haven't hung out with Edge Dave or Blue Wizard, they're both awesome people. They're great. Of course, Dubword is tracking and pushing buttons, and he's awesome, of course. We can't say enough wonderful things about Scala as well. So if anybody's out there that hasn't followed these four individuals, please do so. They're quite fun people to hang out with, watch play, and just all good around nice folks.
And also go ahead and follow the awesome and amazing Tall Grant. Tall Grant, you also have a community club of your own that I think just finished up.
Well, you say just finished up. We're actually we're at the midpoint of our season. I run something called Film Friends, where we reinterpret movies as free enterprise seeds. Beauty is my co-captain in that club. Beauty and I actually race that club on Thursday nights. We put our asyncs live, but the asyncs are up. There's one up right now. We encourage you to come play it. We're doing a little block of 80s movies. In fact, we just wrapped up with The Never-Ending Story last week. I can't tell you what we're doing this week. Part of the fun is guessing, and nobody's quite figured out what we're doing right now. But if you want to play a little Sea Hero and otherwise have a high power seed, we'd love to have you.
Well, that was Never-Ending Story last week. I could have sworn it was Lord of the Crystal Rings, given you found 6 of them.
There were 6 crystal rings, but the fact we wanted you to, among other things, we asked you to go up on the moon and rename Porum. It was Never-Ending Story.
A great movie, and I'm actually most curious to see how it translates over to free enterprise. And according to Taco Melt, something, you tricked them into trying one, and it's really challenging.
I did not trick him. I asked him if you wanted to try a Sea Hero seed tonight. And Taco Melt, if you didn't see him, was on the Pink Puff League race. He was a featured runner last night. He actually was the winner on stream. He did very, very well for somebody who's been playing for about a week. But Sea Heroes, biting off a big Sea Hero seed with a limited party is a little different than doing Supermarket Sweep. But no, he came through. He did really, really well. I was impressed. There's a whole lot of stuff to learn. And if you handed me that Sea Hero seed a weekend, I would probably been at least 2 hours longer than what he took.
Yeah, I mean, RNG, rando gonna rando, as the saying goes.
Well, rando's gonna rando, but going from having the wide open world of here's Cecil and Edge and Kane all together to, hi, I'm gonna give you these characters and you're not necessarily a fan of half of them, and that's your party. Good luck, go get it.
Yep, some people will give you floaties to try and swim. Other people will just throw you into the water and wish you luck.
But and that being said, Film Friends, it's more Sea Heroes different than if you're not used to it having a limited party. I think our party last week consisted of 5 characters, and that's a bit of a jolting change if you're used to always being able to find Cecil somewhere.
Yep, it's always a nice, it's always an interesting experience when you can have some of the not, some of the not normal run-of-the-mill overpowered parties. We actually have to kind of strategize a bit and maybe play around with a little bit of agility if you're not running Sea Hero, or even if you are, how to manipulate that one individual's agility.
Well, and that's something I actually kind of find fun and refreshing. I did a lot of Adamant Cup races, and the overall strategy in Adamant Cup, if it was available, was find Cecil, get him a big holy sword, and just go blow up the seed. And so it's really interesting then to get to play a seed where suddenly Cecil may not be there, and it's like, ooh, this makes things a little bit difficult. What if you have only casters for the overworld to deal with? Suddenly, a lot of those bosses that somebody like Sid can just take a tanking through are not so easy to deal with. They're just it forces you to learn to be a bit more resourceful. It forces you to learn the strengths of the different characters. It forces you to learn new strategies and new tricks to do, which is kind of fun. I kind of felt bad. I never saw. Has anybody checked the Sand Ruby character?
It's Foo.
Ah, that would have been nice, but it was a little bit late. I was wondering. I was just thinking when I was doing that evil wall, man, it would be fun to have Edward and see if we could hide through this one. But I love doing those little goofy strats where you have Edward do Thunderstruck, where you have Kane jump over Odin. All these little things where there's interesting text that let you do things that weren't not necessarily intended by the original developers.
Yeah, the little nuances that just kind of make the game a bit more fun and exciting. Like, oh, this one little thing, if you time it just right, will just completely take out the boss.
Well, yeah, or the ones where I think one of my favorites is the old reflect trick on Plague, where if you bump into him and get a Star Veil up when he's casting count, he'll put a count on himself, and then if you can just survive the fight long enough, he'll expire. If he's in a really high hit point place, like say on top of the element spot over on the giant, and you can pop that off early, you can save yourself quite a bit of time. And it's also a great way. I've snuck past him at the back attack on a deal spot without much damage in the party, just because it becomes a waiting game.
Yep, and I mean, things like that are all over this game, and some of the more finer tricks, it just kind of make you wonder where and how to pull them off, especially if you're newer to Free Enterprise as a whole. That being said, what is your takeaway? Like, is this a particular flag set that you'll see yourself running again in the future?
I kind of like seeing the elements flag. It's been popping up a bit more lately, and I'd love to do it a bit more. The general bones of this thing is pretty close to what I like to play. I like the T Wildish. I like the having the 4 glitches, the warp, the life, the back row, and the Sylph Glyph John. Those are good, fun things to do. So this is a good enough flag set that I would probably play it again. It was a lot of fun.
Fantastic. And any final thoughts before we go ahead and part ways this evening?
No, I hope everybody has a fantastic night. We have a great weekend coming up, and things will go on.
Fantastic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Talgran, second place finisher on stream and 5th place overall. Sir, thank you very much for your amazing run this evening, and take the rest of the night off. You earned it.
Oh, I think I've actually got something else going on with Beauty later, but thank you. You guys have a wonderful night.
Take care.
And while we were talking with Tall Grant, Beauty Discovery and Judge Joe both finished with times of 147.31 and 148.26 respectively.
All right. All right, with a ding in my ear, I believe we are joined by Beauty and Discovery. GG's.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. How do you feel about that particular seed?
Let me tell you something. One of the defining moments of my loss in round 1 of the Blue Moon tournament was not taking a warp caster to Dwarf Castle for the warp glitch. And once you know it, it bit me in the butt again tonight. Wow, really bad. Because I knew that ruby was sitting there, so as soon as I hit it, I caught it. My neighbor may have heard my head hit my desk. It was just such a bummer because I just kept getting that feeling as he see me go through all these checks. And I'm like, it has to be there. It's the one gating key item missing at this point.
Yeah, I mean, this seemed to be one of those seeds where, I mean, it'll rabbit hole quick, or you'll be scratching your head half the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And it kind of felt comfortable a little bit from the get-go. I had so much trouble finding a second claw for Yang, which kept him from really being as powerful as I needed. It took that real unfortunate wipe trying to get Kane, took that wipe again trying to get through Mylon and friends that held the darkness crystal. Just, a lot of awkwardness throughout the seed that did not feel very comfortable and didn't really feel powerful until I got the Sand Ruby and got Fu.
Yeah, that food definitely helped out. I'm gonna take a swig of my beverage over here. Dave, did you have any questions? I will pass the mic.
Just overall, you got through these very well. First thing, how'd you feel when you ran into that gauntlet down in the sealed cave?
It felt a little bit like cherry on top, to be honest, but nonetheless, I kind of had to shake my head. I hadn't even thought about the fact that I hadn't seen it, but I'm like, this is like rubbing salt in the wound right now. Also, not the least of which is because my food was slow enough that it would have taken more time to defend around to have Quake cast than just plow through it. So that was a nice little fun send off from this seed for me.
I imagine it was. So, what were your thoughts on this flag set, just win game in general, or?
I do like it. The funny thing is it can be a little difficult to calibrate your expectations and how to manage your party, especially anchoring. Usually you have so much thought towards anchoring when you have to go into Z, and with Owen you don't have to think about that too much. So while it can be scary to have that hero Cecil, I think maybe only 2 or 3 fights I put that cursed ring and dwarf axe on him on the moon just to try and bring him down a little bit before I finally got that crystal sword. I hope my little inventory dance showed off how happy I was to finally get that big sword for him.
Yeah, we had the rare T Wildish Evelyn Castle miss on Holy Swords.
At least it was an adventure, though. That was a nice little surprise, and a decent amount of power for him from the get-go. And then, of course, Forge had to be Caliburn too. The seat had lots of jokes tonight.
That definitely did. With tonight being the last night for the Divine Comedy, is this a style of flag sets that you would see yourself playing again in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of has a little bit of flavor of the Blue and Red Moon with quite a few bosses to hunt, but you still get a little bit of difference with some objectives. And I also do like the O-Win. We have a couple clubs this season with O-Win, and so with this week having O-Win as well, it's been a nice change of pace to sometimes not have to worry about that Z fight and count agility quite as strictly as you usually have to. So yeah, no, I've really been enjoying it, and this is a great flag set that Cubs Rule put together.
Agreed. And I personally, like much to like what you've said, having that O-Win game, it's kind of like a nice reprieve from the traditional Z fight. After Z fight, oh wait, do I get a big bang into a Meteo, or an unnerved big bang into nuke into an unnerved big bang, or just so many factors and agility that can go wrong. But having that O-Win game, you get the unexpected, and it's kind of nice to see that from time to time.
Yeah, especially with a little bit of grace with 8 out of 10. A lot of objectives, but nonetheless having the ability to skip 2. I'm curious, were Kenazo and Vivalis found at all?
They were. Val was in the Baron basement. Kenazo was behind the package.
Copy that. We had that package early, and this seed really wanted you to have an edge. I mean, I think I picked up 3 pieces, a Hanzo still, a boomerang for the back row glitch, lots of good darts. But alas, he was nowhere to be found. I thought about checking that package, but I think by that time I already had a decent amount of levels on my party, and I saw Sid come in Dwarf Castle and said, good enough.
Well, fun fact, the edge was in fact behind the package.
Rat. Just my luck tonight.
But it still goes to show that you can still be effective with exactly the party you had.
Exactly. You can make anyone work if you have the levels of God, which, maybe I just wanted to see what 5,000 experience looked like tonight going through the Giant.
Yep.
But, nonetheless, thank you so much, Restream team, for putting on a fantastic show. Blue Wizard, NG Day for commentary, Scala on Restream, and Dubword pushing the buttons. It was fantastic. Even if it wasn't my best seed, still had a blast.
Yep, and I believe after this, you and Tall Grant have a little tiff to figure out.
Yeah, a little bit of a foray into some of the pilot seed, which if you've not seen that, very unique kind of setup, but nonetheless, Free Enterprise is not in for me tonight.
Fantastic. That being said, do you have any final words or thoughts before we part ways?
Just a lot of fun doing these community races, a little bit fun dynamic rather than the standard head-to-head, and I had a blast tonight. And thank you again to everyone. I hope you all enjoyed it, even if it was an awkward seat for me.
Still fun nonetheless. Beauty and Discovery, thank you so much. And you have a great rest of your evening.
All right, you too as well. Thank you.
And by that,
Judge Joe.
Judge Joe. Gigi.
Hello.
Welcome.
I don't know about. Yeah, I had some fun plays
Okay.
and some less fun plays.
Which fun plays should we discuss first? K value, Mylon Z.
I should have just chucked another veil at K value. It would have been fun. I enjoyed the seed. Sometimes you just gotta turn off race mode and have fun.
I mean, case in point, that's what these the community clubs are for.
And sometimes you turn off race mode and the seed doesn't like that. Although I guess apparently the big thing was it's been 2 weeks since I ran this, so I didn't review the flags. So I didn't get around to rechecking what glitches were on.
Had you noticed, or had you read the warp glitch, would you actually gone up ordeals begrudgingly?
No. I wouldn't have had to either. Ordeals had no value.
No, but we've gotten telewarp.
Oh, well, that's... I don't actually know that. I had a Foo. Foo would have learned warp eventually.
Very true. So, in that case, would you have just put off Dwarf Castle until after you learned it?
Probably.
Makes sense.
Although I didn't get the Foo till after Dwarf, but I'd have maybe made a couple changes. Hard to tell at this point, though.
The other boss I wanted to talk about, Mylon Z.
Yes.
Oh, I'm not going to give you any grief for that. What made you decide to take that with the party you had? That was impressive, by the way.
Because I could. I had a stack of illusions, and I had a spear. I almost was worried about having to start life potion rouletting, but I got that curse ring from Dancian. Ended up getting the darkness crystal from an area that some people might have faded for a little bit. Bearing in when you have ordeals in a Cecil or the magma key could get faded by some. So I went there and there was illusions. Little unfortunate that I didn't properly track of my veils, but for the XP. But I had a stack of illusions. I had anchoring. And I had a spear to at least do okay damage. So I just figured start drinking Bacchus, start getting illusions, tell the nose blink, which is the only spell that mattered.
Yep, illusions and blinks are your best friend when you don't have anything else. To which I just want to go ahead and throw out there a sore, well, maybe not sore. My hat's off to you for a lot of impressive plays, because I think you were 1 or 2 mega nukes off from Cape Value.
It was definitely 1. I had 3 go through. So my starting Star Veil that I put lasted through 3, but the Star Veil that I put on DKC only lasted 1, and that's where I wiped. And also not getting a jump off. For the last one. But yeah, that's probably just has to do with how it was DKC at the anchor. For whatever reason, his veil just decided to go completely compared to the other 3.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of impressive plays from you this evening. I mean, case in point, the entire time, just about doing the seed with a DKC on the floor. What was your reasoning behind that one?
For fun. Like, I ran enough Crystal Sword Cecil Burrs. It can be fun and all. When he turns into the anchor, a little less fun. He's a little slower, and depending on the party, if you have enough strength, which I did not, but with enough strength, certain fights just become easier to go and take at low levels if you just don't worry about Cecil trying to use the Cecil. And I eventually gave him and sort of used him, but did my best with my run through this to test out Fading Ordeal.
Yep, and we definitely see how well that worked out for you with a lot of the fights that you took on. Also, I only have like really one other question pertaining to some of the fights that you did, and what was going through your head when Mylon went down before his friends?
So with the vampires targeting him and doing 0 things against the rest, that was sort of the plan. How I was pretty sure that my blizzards I had were going to do the job. I did not quite expect them to start punching as fast as I did. I thought I was gonna have just a little more time to get the blizzards out, so it almost went sideways because of that. For whatever reason, I ended up having 2 punches, then a blizzard, and then a blizzard with no more punches. So agility again with those characters ended up feeling weird, but plan was just single target and then chuck some blizzards, and just should have probably did the blizzards a little sooner. Although those lit ones hurt.
They definitely do in some spots. That's about all the questions I had. Dave, you got anything for Joe?
I asked what I wanted to.
Cool. Judge Joe, do you got anything for our viewers before we go and part ways?
Hope they enjoyed watching the variety of dumb to smart plays I chose to make, and hope that it was a fun race and they keep on enjoying stuff.
Well, you heard it, ladies and gentlemen. It sounds like that our runners did enjoy this set of flags this evening. Judge Joe, we appreciate everything that you've done in this race. We're glad to have you here, and we hope to see you next time.
Yeah, I'll enjoy coming back at some point.
Yep, and we'll see you then. You have a great evening. Right, and with that, we have Jay Bruntier in finishing up with an official time of 2 hours, 1 minute, and 3 seconds. So, Dave, is that it? We're done. We just cut stream, go home, take a nap.
And that's it. That's it for us here. But the free enterprise is not over. We're going to be heading over to Tybalt, who is running just some chill seeds, having some fun.
Yep, and a couple of things to point out before we head on over there. One is that please do not spoil actually no, Tybalt was in the race, but anyone that joins the channel after we go over, do not spoil anything for people. Additionally, we do have more free enterprise. Actually, tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, we have Baron's Hero Journey, which, Dave, I think that's also Sea Hero, right?
It is, and I would need to look at...
There you go.
Thank you, Voice of God, telling us it's Rosa.
Voice of God. Being our Sea Hero. Let's see, we also have...
Archer Rosa, too, so no white magic allowed from our princess.
Neat. I actually will check that out. We also have out the Power Up with Pride appearance. It looks like it is currently scheduled. Asuka and Dathis will be doing a co-op seed around 7 p.m. Eastern time. So stay tuned for that. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. Also be sure to check out our other channels, Free Enterprise with no number after it, and Free Enterprise 3, where we do occasionally pop on to have some more runs and races and things like that. Yeah. I'm the Blue Wizard. We were joined by NG Dave, the awesome commentator, and I'm just gonna keep talking and not say anything else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we